Hello.
Hello.
Where are we?
We are out in the Atlantic Ocean, sort of in the middle between Madeira, the Canaries and Portugal. We're about halfway to Portugal, but sort of over towards Madeira.
We're going to Lagos.
Yes, Lagos.
And we've been eating our version of papas arrugadas, which is just potatoes with red pesto on, which is quite delicious, very delicious actually. But we're becalmed now. We were going along slowly earlier on. The ensign's not really hung very well at the moment. And then the wind dropped altogether. So we're just stuck here, which is slightly depressing because we've got a long way to go. We're not quite halfway yet, but we're almost there. But it's better to be stuck bobbing around in the sun than it is to be stuck in the middle of a storm, for sure. So I'm quite happy with this. On Seahorse, on our first proper journey with her. Never sailed her before. We set out on this journey. I don't know if you can see in the distance, there's a big buoy there on the horizon. They come and go all the time. Annoyingly quickly.
Yeah.
Anything else to say?
Not sure really, no. Having a nice day today. We have highs and lows.
Yeah.
This is probably a high day. Because we're not far off halfway at the moment, so...
What happens when we get halfway?
It's a cookie stone.
Cookie stone, which is like a milestone.
But you get to eat cookies.
Yeah.
So our first cookie stone was a third of the way, where we had Chips Ahoy.
That was great.
And then our next cookie stone is halfway, which we're about 25 miles from. And I hope that we get there today, but we might not actually, given the weather.
And we just slept last night.
Yeah, which was really nice actually, because we were both exhausted and we needed it.
Because there was no wind.
And then, then we've got two more cookie stones. We've got one at 2/3 of the way, and the last one is at 3/4, by which point we'll be close enough to Portugal to motor. So that's a really important one. So we basically have about 180 miles left to sail, and then we can motor the last 120-ish.
And the reason we're limited on motoring is because we're limited on diesel. Here's our jerry cans down there. Yellow one's empty, red one's empty. There's a black one there and a blue stroke green one there. They're both full, hopefully, unless they've leaked. That would be horrendous, but I don't think we have. And there's our main tank, which is full as well. So we're not doing too badly on fuel. We've had to use that bilge pump this trip, which was a bit bad. Won't go into details now, but exhausting. And if we come below decks quickly, we can see we've got a half-made nest, as we call it, on the cabin sole, or the floor if you like. We make that fully, so it goes where I'm standing at night, and then one of us, if we're both sleeping, one of us can sleep there, one of us can sleep there. I prefer being on the floor actually, because you're cushioned on either side, so if you're rolling around, it's easier. Kate prefers it up here, I'm not sure why. Why do you prefer it up on the bunk there?
Just because my first night on the floor was so bad, because I didn't have enough cushions and
Oh yeah.
scarred me.
You didn't make the bed or the nest at all well, so what happened?
So I had like a thin line of cushions, and they would slide that way and then slide that way, and I was kind of on them, but then because there were different ones, like one bit would slide, and then it was like the worst night's sleep of my whole life. And so even now Alex has got it properly made, I just prefer it on the bench.
Which is fantastic, so that's tainted her opinion of the floor, and I love it. Well, I'm drying that out because some water went down there as well. Water went into the bilges down here, which is where we've got most of our food supplies, and there's some cookies waiting for our cookie stones, packets of cookies, all sorts going on in there. Been eating like kings actually, and then We've got a load of junk stowed forwards, not very heavy stuff thankfully, but that means we can't use that cabin. That's the head which is out of action there, hasn't been working since we've had the boat really. We just use a bucket for the time being. So that's us in the middle of the Atlantic on Seahorse, just wishing that we could get to Lagos. We've been out here almost a week. In 5.5 hours we will have been at sea for a week. We left Marina Lanzarote in Arrecife on Thursday at about 6 o'clock. And here we are, just waiting to carry on our journey. That should just about do us then.